All right, welcome back to Allen House Sound. Today we're going to be answering a question for Wayne. Wayne asked about in-ear monitors. So I've got a video that I'll post up here and link in the description as well, which talks about in-ear monitors and kind of your basic setup on the console itself. But for the most part, a lot of people are using XLR's output from this console, and then they're going into their in-ear monitor rig, their transmitter to be specific. But what do you do if your in-ear monitor transmitter only has 1/4 inch inputs? All right, so looking at this, I've got a Shure PSM 200. This is just a little basic personal monitor that I've had for many years. And now I luck out. This one does have 1/4 inch and XLR input. So it's got the combo jack input for both left and right, which is kind of a nice feature. It also has XLR through outputs on the back. This is not a sponsored video, unless sure you would like to sponsor me. This is just a unit that I've picked up, like I said, years ago. I've had it. I take it places whenever I've got to do a gig. If I'm not sure that they're going to have an in-ear setup for me, I can take this in, and it does give me that capability and flexibility that if the board itself, maybe it's an older analog console, if it only has 1/4 inch outputs, I'm good. And if it's a newer, more modern console and it's got XLR outputs, I'm also good. So what we're going to do is talk about how we can plug this in to the X32 or the M32, and then what's the basic little routing switch that we have to make to get the signal to go from your mix bus out into your wireless in-ear monitor. So the first thing to keep in mind is if you're using XLRs, we do have the capability of just plugging right here into XLR outputs. We will check that these are routed properly, but by default, mix bus 1 is set to come out output 1. And then all we would do is plug that into the input on our wireless in-ear transmitter, and we're good to go. But again, this video is not about XLRs, it's about the 1/4 inch. So what do we do with that scenario? So while we're here at the back of the console, we've got a basic TS cable. This one happens to be a guitar cable, but TS, just tip and sleeve. And what we're going to do, or a mono cable, whatever you want to call it. The consoles down here have auxiliary outs, 1 through 6. 5 and 6 do offer RCA outputs as well. But we're going to use the 1/4 inch jack, and we're just going to plug this into output 1. And then we're going to take the other side and plug it into input 1 on our transmitter. That's going to give us a mono signal. Now, if you needed to do a stereo in-ear monitor, then you would want to use output 1 and 2 and go to your input 1 and 2 on your transmitter. Most of us can get away with just running mono in-ears and make the musicians happy with that. But let's talk about how we route this in the console to make it work for you. All right, so looking here at the console, like we talked about in the other video that I have in the description, most of us are going to be using mix buses for our monitors. You can use the P16s, which are great, but that's a whole different topic and discussion. How do we get up and running quick? We can build a miniature mix from our inputs on a mix bus. So here we've got mix bus 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 all set up for in-ear monitors. These are a mono setup. And so what we would do is we can, again, select our mix bus 1, we can hit sends on fader, and now we can build a mix that may look slightly different than our main mix, and that would be whatever is needed to make this person comfortable with their in-ear monitor. Then we can deselect sends on fader. We're back now to our main house mix. But once we've got that set up and we have a mix, one of the things we want to do is make sure that we've got this actual bus fader set as the tap point, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But let's go up to the screen and we'll look at this routing. So as we look up here at the screen a little closer, what we're going to do is hit the routing tab. And from the routing tab, we're going to go over to out. And here, again, by default, we can see that our outputs are mapped with output 1 being set to mix bus 1. You do have an option to select your tap point here. But if we go down to output 2, we can see mix bus 2, output 3 is set to mix bus 3, so on and so forth. And on the full-size consoles, output 15 and 16 are your main outs. On the smaller platform consoles, your 7 and 8 are set as your main outs. But that's for using XLRs. We're going to set up the 1/4 inch. So what we're going to do is go over to aux tab here, So routing and then aux. And we're on aux out 1. And what we're going to do is use this encoder to select mix bus. And then we can push mix bus 1. And then we can set our tap point. Now again, if you have pre-fader set as a tap point, that means that the physical fader for your mix bus is not going to engage or be useful for adjusting volume. In a wireless in-ear setup, that would leave you just to have the volume on the belt pack, where if you've got post fader set up, and we go down to post fader and select that, now both the pack and the actual fader on the console for bus 1 will give you volume control. This is different than how you set up your mix, whether it's pre-fader or post-fader, from your inputs going into the bus. That's a different topic. This is our tap point for what goes out of the console. Now, again, we can come down to aux out 2, and we could set that up for mix bus 2 and set that as post-fader. If you do, again, want to run stereo, then you would make sure that your bus 1 and 2 are linked, and then you can select those as the outputs here, and you'll have a stereo output for your in-ear monitors. All right, so that's just a short video. Wayne, I hope this helps answer your question, and if you're watching the video and you're not Wayne, I hope it's been beneficial for you too. Make sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button, and if you've got questions of any sort, you can put those in the comment section down below. I'm always answering questions because I love to help you guys out. Also, if you'd like to get one-on-one support, you can go to this link here, which is my website, and you can fill out the contact card, and we can start a conversation outside of YouTube to get your specific questions and needs figured out. Well, outside of that, we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much. Peace.